Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a massive shift happening in the world of work, thanks to some sharp analysis from Sinead Bovell. For a whole new generation of workers, the career ladder we all know, well, it's basically broken, and what's replacing it changes pretty much everything.
It all kicks off with this number, and it's one that's causing a lot of anxiety. 5.8%. That is the unemployment rate for recent college grads, the highest it's been in more than a decade. But here's the thing, this isn't just some temporary economic slump.
What we're talking about is a fundamental break from the past. So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll look at the end of the ladder itself. Then, how AI is hitting the accelerator. We'll explore the rise of what's being called the independence era, a new way to think about apprenticeships. And finally, we'll zoom out to the really big questions this raises for all of us. Okay, let's get right into it. It's easy to point the finger at AI or the economy for the hiring crunch we're seeing, but the problem goes way, way deeper than that. The entire system for how we start and build a career is being fundamentally rewritten.
And Sinead Bovell puts it perfectly here. What we're witnessing is really the end of an era. That classic path we were all taught, go to school, get an internship, land a job, and then just climb that corporate ladder, that whole playbook is falling apart right in front of us.
So what's really driving this breakdown? Now, AI isn't the sole culprit here, but it's acting like a massive accelerator. It's basically pouring gasoline on a fire that was already starting to burn by completely changing the nature of entry-level work.
I mean, just think about it. What were the classic jobs for a junior hire? Things like basic writing, data entry, drafting marketing copy. Well, guess what? AI can now handle the first draft of a lot of that stuff. And that's forcing companies to ask a really tough question. What even is an entry-level role anymore?
So, the big takeaway here is pretty stark. Companies are realizing they just don't need as many people for those traditional junior tasks. But the implication of that? Oh, it's huge. We're talking about entire departments potentially shrinking or just completely changing shape over the next few years. The ground is literally shifting beneath our feet.
Okay, so this brings up a really critical question, right? If you can't get that first rung on the ladder, how in the world are you supposed to start building skills? And that leads us to what Bovell has dubbed the independence era. This isn't just a small tweak, it's a complete redefinition of what work even means. We're moving away from that stable single-company career path toward a much more fluid, project-based world. Basically, you become a business of one. Your job isn't a title, it's a collection of projects built around your specific skills.
All right, so if we're in this new era, we need a totally new strategy to navigate it. The old way of just waiting around to get hired, that's over. The new advice is to get out there and create your own apprenticeship.
Let's make this real. Say you're interested in marketing. You don't have to wait for permission. You could reach out to a creator you admire and help them build their brand, or run a small ad campaign for a local business, or design an email flow for a nonprofit you care about. The point is, you can start building real-world experience and stuff you can actually show people right now on your own terms. See, in this new world, it's not about the job titles on your resume. What really matters are the skills you can prove you have, your ability to actually direct AI to get things done, and maybe most importantly, how adaptable you are.
And this quote from Bovell just hits the nail on the head. You don't have to go out and build the next unicorn startup, but you absolutely have to start thinking like a business. That mindset, always asking, what problem can I solve? What value can I bring? That's your most valuable asset now.
Okay, let's zoom out a bit for our final section, because this isn't just about individual careers. This shift is creating some really big questions for society as a whole. And look, this isn't some far-off futuristic theory. Right now in the US, there are 27.7 million people working as full-time independents, and that number grew by 6.5% in just the last year. This isn't coming, it is here.
But a shift this fast and this big, well, it has some serious consequences. It's on a collision course with all the systems that were built for the old world of work, the 9-to-5, stable employment world. I mean, think about it. Health insurance tied to your job, getting a mortgage for a house, even big life decisions like planning a family. All of those things were built on a foundation of predictability that's, well, it's crumbling.
And all of this leaves us with one last, really powerful question. We're at one of those rare moments in history where we don't just have to react to change. We actually have a chance to shape what comes next. So the question for all of us is, if the old fabric of work is tearing apart, what do we want to weave in its place?